Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's Damien here, and I am now 6 months on T. Yeah, it happened. So, guys, I've been dying to make this video because I have exciting news that I want to share with you, and I've been waiting for this day to come because I was dying to make this video. But before I get into that, I want to talk about some physical and emotional changes that have been occurring. It's not a lot at this point, but facial hair is exploding. It's basically crawling everywhere now. First, it started on my mustache just thickening, and then chin hair started appearing, and then it started crawling down here. And these sides, these fuzz on my cheeks started crawling from my sideburns and starting to hit my jawline. And now I'm feeling hair right around my jawline here, trying to connect this. So basically, I could possibly expect a measly beard in the future. I don't know, it's something to hope for. But besides from physical changes, not much has happened. I mean, I've been getting muscle, but that's mostly me working out. I mean, contrary to popular belief, testosterone's not going to give you muscle unless you're diligently working out, at least not like Popeye or anything. So I was a weakling before T, but now not so much. This is all I have right now. It's not much, and I've seen guys who have been on T much less than I have, even pre-T, even who have bigger muscles than I do. But this is something because I used to be a stick, and if anybody's ever seen me, they were surprised that I'm even getting anything. Because let me tell you, I was a stick. I was a weakling, physically at least. I mean, I mostly concentrated on using the computer more than actually actively working out. But lately, I've been thinking, well, if my friend could do it, he's like 12. He's already almost 13 months on T now, and he literally transformed his body, so I'm thinking, if he could do it, why can't I? But other changes have been kind of slow. I mean, nothing that I could really report. Maybe some subtle facial changes, maybe, that I'm not even aware of. I mean, I see myself every day. I'm sure other people would notice something. But changes on the face have been pretty subtle. Right now, I'm pretty much hoping that my hairline would recede more because look at this, it's still more or less the same it was pre-T almost. But it takes some time, I suppose, and I'm wishing my cheek fat will go away. I mean, look at this. My mom could still literally just be like, "Oh my God, you're so cute, Damiencita, mira sa mi hijito." And I'm just sitting there like, "Mom, could you please stop doing that?" Ow, 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 ow. Anyways, let's get down to news. I'm literally shaking in my seat right now, but not out of fear or anything, out of joy and oh my God, it could actually be happening. Cause as you guys already knew in my previous videos, if you ever watched it, I still haven't come out to my uncle. I basically been waiting at the very last minute to tell him, and I was gonna tell him 2 weeks ago, but he beat me to the punch because he's been seeing my facial hair. I haven't shaven in a month, and I'm gonna go shave in a couple after this video, so. He beat me to the punch. He's like, "You're not a guy. Why do you have all this facial hair?" It's like, and I told him I was. It's like I just couldn't take it anymore, and I didn't want to be called Andrea or Jackie or Sweetie Pie or anything like that anymore. So I kind of got myself up to a boiling point, and I just went "Well, Uncle, I'm a guy, and I'm starting to physically make it so." And he sat me down 2 weeks ago, I believe. Yeah. No, a week and a half ago, he invited me out to eat. And I figure it was because of transition. And as it turns out, it was about transition among my future and job prospects. But transition was the main topic of the dinner. And we talked it over. It was a long conversation. If you want to read about it, it's on my Tumblr. It's very recent. It's this long post. I think it's 168 days on T post, I think. I'm not sure, but I'll put the link later in the description box if you want to read about it. But it was a long conversation, but long story short, he's turned out to be the most supportive person in my family. Can you believe that? Personally, I can't even believe that. I feel like that conversation couldn't have gone any better than I expected it to be. And he told me that the money that he gave me for a European tour, which amounted to be, to my knowledge, I still haven't gone to the bank to check. I think I deposited more later on. But when we opened the account, they gave me $3,500. And he said I could use it for top surgery. So, and he said he's willing to let me stay at his condo in Hallandale, Florida, if I choose to go to Dr. Garamoni for top surgery. And I was just like, really? Wow. I was like shocked and like speechless, but in a good way. But I just can't believe that top surgery could be within a year and a half for me. It's like, wow, I didn't expect things to go this smoothly at all. I was like expecting, well, some support, but not to that extent where he's like the most supportive person in my family that's actually using male gender identified kind of words like, well, sonny boy, and hey man, what's up, when he greets me and all that. So it feels good. Made me feel like masculine, really. And he stopped calling me immediately by my middle name or birth name or using any of those sweetie pie, darling, and all those kind of words that kind of did bother me. So, but I didn't tell him. So now I feel great, even if he didn't like be supportive, I would have felt relieved because I don't have to like hide anymore, and I don't have to like make up lies to like bend the truth, I suppose, because he asked me stuff and I couldn't really answer him truthfully without outing myself to him. So even if he didn't he wasn't as supportive as he would have been, he has been at least, I still would have felt relieved, but now I'm just relieved and bouncing off the walls because top surgery can be in my future. Right now, I feel so blessed to have a family that, well, even though they're not as supportive as I would like them to be, but they're tolerating it, and this is coming from a Spanish, lower middle class family who came from a country that's very religious, to say the least, and still uses grammatical gender, which means there's no gender neutral. You're either male or female, and it's reflected in the language like el televisión, la mano, and la vitrina, o el teléfono, all these masculine feminine forms. So things couldn't have been better for me, I suppose. And I'm still reeling from what I talked about with my uncle, because now I'm actually starting to research on top surgery and seeing how I can come up with more money to pay for it, because as I suspect, the double incision might be my only option, even though I'm not really huge in the chest area, but it's starting to like droop a bit, so I suspect double incisions are going to give me the best results possible. And of course, you're not going to want to choose any surgeon, so right now I have like my eye on 3 people, which is Dr. Rockmore in Albany, New York. That's the closest one. Then there's Dr. Medali in Cleveland, Ohio. I heard really good things about him. And then there's Dr. Garamoni in Florida, which I could save money with room and board because my uncle has a condo down in Hallandale, Florida, that I could like rest up for a few weeks until I'm ready to go back to New York City. So to make this short, in these 6 months, I basically came out of the darkness and into the light, really. So I feel great. I'm starting to have a bit of a social life now. Speaking of which, I'm actually going to be heading out today to celebrate my 6 months on T, at least between me and my friend who knows, and everybody else who doesn't really think about it actively, at least. So I'm going to be very happy. I'm going to be drinking mojitos and basically making a fool out of myself. So, yeah, I think that's all I really want to say in this video. I'm going to start posting videos a little more often. I completely missed out on my 5-month on T comparison video, but that's okay because I'm going to be posting a Pratt tutorial on how to measure the frequency of your voice changes, voice recordings, whatever. It's because my friend kind of asked for that, and I think that would be a good thing to share with everybody who wants to see changes, at least visually on a graph, instead of just like going by ear. And I'm gonna do a pre-T to 6 months voice timeline. I mean, I've been secretly recording my voice every 2 weeks, saying the date and all that, so I'm going to put that on a video and just put some pictures in there, and it's going to be awesome, really. You get to see how my voice transformed. Within like the first 2 weeks of T, you can even hear the difference, so it's like, wow. So T has been taking very well with me, and I just couldn't be happier, really. There was times where I thought like transition, I might regret it at some point, but I couldn't have been more wrong. I never been happier in my life. It's like now I'm starting to live instead of living just for the sake of living, just going along and just drifting around, my life stagnating. I mean, I'm sure most of the people watching this are transgender. You might have an idea of how that feels like. Oh, and I almost forgot to say something. Lately, this has been a recent thing since 5 months on T, but I've been getting compliments on how I physically look. Like, I'm attractive, I'm cute, I'm handsome, I'm hot, and all those words along that spectrum, and I never felt more uncomfortable about that because before T, that never happened. At least nobody ever thought of me in that way and to live to tell the tale and tell me up front, but I never felt so uncomfortable when I received those praises, especially when people are flirting with me and I have to be told I'm being flirted with because it's so new to me. It's like, what the hell is going on here? They're acting so weird. Is it something I said or like what? Basically, as you can tell, I'm an oblivious person, but taking compliments is something I have to get used to, but right now it's like, who the hell are they talking to? They can't possibly be talking about me, would they? Okay, for real. Now I'm actually done. But yeah, I hope you guys have a good day and keep on trucking. It does get better. At least just look at me. I was like really a depressed person before T and during the first 2 months of it. So wow, yeah, that's a lot. That's a mouthful. So peace out.